Hi boys and girls, it's me and Rudy, and today is Tuesday, April 21st, and we are here to teach you a little bit about time today. So if you are working with your daily smiley face chart, I hope you got some smiley faces done yesterday. I'm excited to see them on Friday when you mail in a picture to me. So today we're going to work on Tuesday, and we're going to take a look down at where it says Math Foldable page. We're going to work on that a little bit together today. And I'm going to give you a little bit more information on time to help you with pages 599 to 602 that you have to do for today. So to start, I want to do a quick review because page 599 to 602 talk about time to the nearest half hour. So if you know there are 60 minutes in an hour, half of 60 would be 30, right? If we took 60 and we put it into two equal groups, we would get 30. So that means there's 30 minutes on this side of the clock, and there's 30 minutes on this side of the clock, okay? So if we're talking about time to the half hour, if I had a time like 5 o'clock, and I wanted to make it a half hour, I would say 5:30, and my clock would look like that. If I went another half hour, it would be 6 o'clock, right? I could say it's 5:30, and in a half an hour, it's going to be 6 o'clock. So see if you can get out your little clocks that I sent home with you and a couple weeks ago in one of the packets I mailed, and you should have a little clock that looks like this. I want you to see if you can make your little clock 4:30. So pause my video for a minute if you need to go find your little clock, grab it, and see if you can make it to 4:30. And I'm going to turn my clock to 4:30. And you can check and see if yours is at 4:30. Okay, 4:30 would be like 4 o'clock, and it's 30 minutes past 4 o'clock at 4:30. If we went another half hour, it would be 5 o'clock, right? So go ahead and look at your clock at 4:30, and what do you notice over here? My red hand isn't really touching the 4, and it's not really touching the 5. It's somewhere in between them, right? Because as my big hand moves closer to 5 o'clock, watch what my red hand does, my little hand. It moves slowly to the number 5. So if you ever come across a clock and you're looking at the time and it looks like this, you'll notice my little hand is between the 7 and the 8. It's not on the 8 yet, and it's not touching the 7. So if it's not quite to 8 yet, I know it still has to be 7. So this time would be 7:30, right? My hand's on the 6, which is at my 30-minute mark. If I move in another 30 minutes, see what my red hand did? It goes to 8 o'clock. If I move in another 30 minutes, it goes to 8:30. And you'll notice my red hand, I know it's 8:30, not 9:30, because my red hand is not touching my 9 yet. If it's not there yet, if it's not past it, you can't say that number. It has to be the number that it's just passed. So it's still 8. Didn't pass the 9 yet. See if on your little clock you can do 1:30. 1:30 on your little clock. I'm going to crank mine around to 1:30. 1:30. So my little hand is kind of between the 1 and the 2 because it's past 1 o'clock, but it's not quite 2 o'clock. And my big hand is at the bottom, at my 30-minute mark, 1:30. In another half hour, it would be 2 o'clock. All right, so hopefully that information on half hours will help you on your pages today of 599 to 602. Today on the video, I'm going to do with you your foldables page, which is another smiley face you have to do on your list. So if you take out your foldables page, it looks like this. Okay, we've done these in our classroom before. And the first thing you're going to do on the foldables page is you're going to cut where the scissors are across the top. So I'm going to give you a minute. Okay, pause my video if you need to find your paper, okay? And we're going to cut across the top. So I cut across the top. I just cut that little chunk off. And now I have something like this. So I'm going to take the side with the pictures and the white part, and I'm going to fold those on the green dotted line. So fold on the green dotted line. And it's going to look something like this. So I have my 4 pictures folded up. My back is all white. Okay, go ahead and pause me if you need more time to finish that part. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just to the green dotted line in between those pictures. So watch how I do this. So I'll have separate flaps for each of those pictures. Okay, I cut it right in half so I can flip it up to the green dotted line. And I'm going to do the bottom, separate the yellow and the orange to the green dotted line. All right, now I'm ready to fill in the rest. So here we go. Let's do it together. We've got our 4 pictures of 4 things that happened that day, and they have a time written in words at the bottom. Let's start with the blue one. We're going to start with the blue one because that one's going to be an easy one, okay? At 1 o'clock, it says the little girl was drawing pictures. Flip up the top flap. Okay, there's a clock at the top, an analog clock, and there's a digital clock at the bottom. So let's start with the digital clock. If she was doing it at 1 o'clock, there's my marker. We're going to write in 1, 0, 0, just like that on the blue. Now we have to think about if it's AM or PM. So I'll tell you, at 1 AM, I'm sleeping in my bed. At 1 PM, I would normally still be with you guys at school. So which one is it, AM or PM? PM. So we're going to circle PM. Now I'm going to write in 1 o'clock on my analog clock. And to do that, I'm going to do a tiny little hand pointing to the 1. And I'm going to do a longer hand pointing to the 12 to make 1 o'clock. Just like that. All right, let's take a look at our green one. The green one says 9:15. That's when they got to school. That's about what time you guys get to school too in the morning. So 9:15, if it's a quarter on the clock, okay, here's my clock. If I divide it in quarters, these are the important numbers. 15, 30, 45, and the o'clock. That would be if I cut my clock in half, it would be in quarters or 4 pieces. So a quarter is 15 minutes. So if it is 9:15, like they said, that means there's 15 minutes till 9 o'clock. So let me crank my clock back. Here's 8 o'clock. I'm going to keep moving it around until it's 15 minutes till 9 o'clock. So if I stop here, I would have 15 minutes left till 9 o'clock. This would be 8:45 is how we would say it. Or you could say 8:45. So I'm going to leave that there. We're going to look at our green one. We're going to fill in 8:45. We're going to circle AM because it's the morning. The morning is AM. They're just getting to school. And I'm going to draw my arrows on my clock just like this one. My little arrow is almost to the 9, but not quite. And my minute hand has 15 minutes left to go. All right, we have 2 more left to do, so let's look at the orange one. The orange one says it's 3:30. So we just talked about halves. If it's 3 o'clock, here's my 3 o'clock, and I go half past it, I'm going to go 30 minutes past 3 o'clock. So 3:30 would be 3:30. And it looks like the boy is still sleeping. So would that be an AM or a PM? If you said AM, you're right. 3:30 AM, you would still be in bed. 3:30 PM, you would be just getting out of school. So let's go ahead and draw in our arrows for 3:30. It should look something like that. My my hour hand, my short hand is at the 3, and my minute hand is halfway. It's at the bottom at the 6 for 30 minutes. All right, last one, boys and girls. 2:15. It's the yellow one, and it looks like he's giving some puppies a bath. So quarter, we talked about a quarter is 15 minutes. So if it's 2 o'clock, and I go 2:15, that means I go 15 minutes past 2 o'clock, which would make it 2:15. So draw in your arrows on that clock. Little hand at the 2, long minute hand to the 15-minute mark or the 3. And then I'm going to write in 2:15. And I know it's going to be a PM because if it's 2:15 in the morning, you're fast asleep in bed. If it's 2:15 PM, you would be almost just getting out of school. It would be 2 o'clock. So take a look at our last one, what it looks like. That is 2:15 or 15 minutes past 2 o'clock. 2:15. Okay, so now you have your foldable done. So go ahead and you can color in your smiley face on your chart. And we talked a lot about going half past on the clock. Remember, if it's half past, it's at the 30 down below or at the 6, 30 minutes. Okay, it's half of the clock, or it's up at the top on that half of the clock. So that should help you out with your pages now you can work on for page 599 to 602. And that is all for today. Make sure you do your decodable reader and you can log on to your IXL. When you do IXL today, go into the diagnostic arena. Remember, we did that at school. It's like the big stadium. So click on that today and see how many questions you can get done in 15 minutes or so. All right, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I miss you. Bye.